Phoenix has at best been massively disappointing and at worst been a complete and total catastrophe on par with the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Like
I've heard more about Devin Booker hooking up again with Kendall Jenner than I have heard about his play. So that's bad. That's
and then
bad.
even the game on Sunday, they got out to a really hot start against Minnesota, and then Minnesota just beat their dicks in, just complete and total domination
at
home in Phoenix. So Durant's going to get traded. Shams basically reported that he is going to work with the front office this offseason to get him what he wants to go elsewhere. And I was looking around the landscape. Who could use Kevin Durant? Who would give up what for Kevin Durant? And I got to say, there's not that many teams where I'm like, oh, KD, perfect fit. Stephen A. went on. What are you going to say?
Well, I think there's a few teams that might like literally ruin themselves by getting Kevin Durant, which I would love. Like teams that would like logically make sense and they have the assets, but in the long haul would just like completely close their window. Oklahoma City, but keep going. What's Stephen A. say?
Yeah, so Stephen A. suggested Oklahoma City, and I went through the trade machine to try and make something work. So if you're Phoenix, making a trade is so goddamn hard because you're in that second apron. You poo-pooed the second apron. You said, second apron, schmeckin' lapron. It's no big deal. The Suns are really hamstrung in what they can do. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. Like, for example, the salaries of Andrew Wiggins and Terry Rozier with Miami, you fundamentally, even though that combination is $20,000 more than Kevin Durant's contract, you can't do it. If you're not a second apron team, you could do that. That's within the realm because it's literally only $20K more. You can't do that trade because then you can't throw someone else in to aggregate salaries. You can't do it. So there are some real factors that prohibit them from making deals. So one thing that I saw that could potentially be out there, upstart team having the best season in a while, the Detroit Pistons, although I don't know if they want to mess with their chemistry there right now. They could trade Tobias, Isaiah Stewart, who would immediately get into 1,000 fights in Phoenix, Simone Fontecchio, and the conversation around first-round picks with KD is tough. Like, how many first-round picks do you give up for KD at this stage in his career? He's still excellent, still unquestionably a top 15 player, but, like, is he getting 3? I don't know if I give up 3 first-round picks plus some role players for KD. I don't know if I do that at this stage.
What I'll say is this. I think Detroit makes sense, and I hate to be disrespectful to what you just said. He's not going to Detroit. No way.
No, he's not. I know. I'm not.
No, and that's the problem with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, what's the old SNL? It's like, that's not something Bob Dole does. Like the Bob Dole of it all. Kevin Durant's going to do what Kevin Durant does, and he is not going to Detroit. Kevin Durant, the most online superstar of all time, is not going to go to Detroit Rock City, okay? Absolutely not. He's not going to go to Oklahoma City because LeBron's already done that, and he doesn't want to be copying LeBron again. So, Thunder fans, don't dig out those jerseys from your fucking dressers. He ain't going back to you. There are 3 teams he could go to, in my opinion. Houston, little Ime Udoka reunion. I think, they knew each other in Brooklyn. Houston has a lot of young talent. Too much young talent, I would say. Like they could actually benefit from a Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant, with having him, that team could be pretty relevant. I think that team could contend. You can give up living, breathing players more so than picks. I think that's what you do for Durant at this point. Give up players. I wouldn't give up picks. That's one place I think. This one's interesting. Does Nico Harrison try to get back in the good faith of the people of Dallas? Do a little KD, Kyrie, AD, little 2016 Rio Olympics reunion up in here? That could be something. That could be something. And then this is the one I think he's actually going to do. Because I think Kevin Durant, though I don't think he's the most marketable player, I think he cares a lot about how he's perceived. And he does love to hoop. Like, I do love Kevin Durant because this guy actually loves to play basketball. And another guy I think actually legitimately loves to play basketball is a guy who looks up to Kevin Durant deeply. That would be Anthony Edwards. I think Minnesota, Crispy Haynes reported, tried at the last minute at the deadline to get Durant this year. Couldn't get a deal done. I think they try again because with Minnesota, there's no risk. Your team is already on a decline. You know what I mean? Your team is already worse than you were last year. Why not gamble and go get a guy that you know Ant's going to be excited to play with, a guy that can mentor Anthony Edwards to maybe take that next step in his career? For me, I think him going to Minnesota would be a thing that's like good story. They could contend. I think he would enjoy himself. Houston, Dallas, he would probably enjoy himself as well, but I don't think Dallas is going to do it. I think Minnesota just makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I'm looking at their table right now. Julius Randle could potentially be coming off their books, but they are going to have to sign Naz Reid to a deal. So how does that trade get structured? Is it Conley plus McDaniels plus Dante DiVincenzo? And if Randall opts in, maybe you can throw him in there as well. That could work. Or do you just say fuck it and do like the easier way and just trade Gobert?
Yeah.
Trade Gobert to Phoenix and say, Naz Reid, you're our full-time center now. I think that's you gotta think about that at least.
Yeah, Gobert's cooked. It's over for him. So, and I think
he's missed a lot of time this year, and honestly, like, what was it, a back injury? How old is Rudy? I think he's 30 right now. He's 32.
Oh yeah, see ya. Ship him out. I just think with Phoenix,
he's 32, turning 33. So at the start of next season, he'll be 33.
Yeah, it's time to go. I think Minnesota. I think the fact that Haynes reported they were trying to get Durant this year is telling for their future strategy, and especially if this A-Rod deal does go through, I can't keep up with it anymore. Like they're gonna want to make a splash. So, what do you think though?
It's classic new owner syndrome. Everyone always says
Matt Ishbia did it in Phoenix, so it's like,
and he ruined everything.
Yep, made a mess.
Adelson did it in Dallas. These new owners always want to come in and make a mark on their franchise.
Who knows what Jeffrey Lorie's going to do to the Celtics?